Single mom's last coins bought bread, then an incredible CEO stepped up to change everything. The line at the corner store wound its way through the aisles, a monotonous ebb and flow of weary souls. But for Lisa, a 35-year-old single mother, each moment felt like an eternity. She gripped her last few coins in trembling fingers, the copper glinting in the fluorescent light, a stark reminder of all that was at stake. She could almost taste the fresh bread wafting from the bakery section, a fragrant wave of hope, a promise of warmth for her two hungry children. Yet, with rent skyrocketing and hours slipping away at her minimum wage jobs, anxiety clawed at her insides like a feral beast. Just a loaf, she whispered to herself, a mantra that grounded her amidst the bustling chaos. The freshness of the bread represented more than just sustenance. To Lisa, it was a lifeline, the thin slice of normal that her family craved. Her heart raced, a symphony of worry and love. She could picture her kids' faces, bright with anticipation as they devoured her homemade meals. They were her world, and she was theirs, a fierce protector fighting against the tide of financial despair. In that packed space, Lisa caught a glimpse of a tall figure, James, the charismatic CEO known for his philanthropic endeavors. At first, he seemed just another affluent figure, detached and oblivious to the struggles around him. Yet in his eyes, there shimmered a glimmer of something that caught her attention. She felt an inexplicable connection, a flicker of possibility intertwined with her hopelessness. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days became weeks, and their paths crossed more often at local events, fundraisers, and even grocery runs. He would catch her eye, nodding with an understanding that felt almost parental. It wasn't too long before Lisa discovered that James was discreetly providing support, donating money towards local initiatives, programs that provided meals, including her beloved bread. At first, gratitude flooded her heart, but as she learned more, insecurities gnawed at her. Am I just a charity case? The question echoed relentlessly. Could he see her as more than his project? How could she accept help while trying to maintain her independence? The thought was suffocating. Each time she ran into him, all she could see were the myriad of judgmental eyes around her, whispering behind hands. Then came the night of a community potluck. The air was thick with laughter and camaraderie. Lisa stood there, her children at her side, heart pounding louder than the music in the background. In that moment of fragility, she decided to voice her truth, a vulnerable sharing of her fears, her dreams, and the burden that seemed impossible to carry alone. The room fell silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. Could her journey reshape their community's views on struggle and support? As James looked on, the tension magnetized everyone, an electric moment of change brewing in the air. Would she embrace this unexpected partnership? Could she redefine her American dream, breaking free of pride and embracing the power of community? The question lingered, pinning Lisa beneath the spotlight, poised to make a choice that could alter everything. Lisa's heart raced in the heavy silence that followed her words. The warmth of the potluck faded as the room teetered between disbelief and empathy. She could feel all eyes on her, wide and expectant. Yet, the vulnerability she had spilled out like an open wound pushed her to take a deep breath and hold her ground. Every day feels like climbing a mountain, she continued, gripping the edge of the picnic table. And I'm just so scared of falling. The truth hung uncomfortably, but she stood rooted, the weight of her honesty both frightening and liberating. James stepped forward, the strong build of his frame cutting through the tension. You're not alone in this, he said, voice steady but full of warmth. So many of us have felt that weight, even in different ways. A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd. He extended a hand, palm upward, a gesture of connection rather than judgment. Curiosity awakened in her fellow community members. It was clear they wanted to support her. Faces softened. A woman from the back stepped up, wiping her tear-streaked cheeks. I can help with babysitting, whenever you need, she offered, her voice thick with compassion. A man chimed in, I have a garden, I'd love to share fresh vegetables. As Lisa listened to the outpouring of solidarity, a sprinkle of hope ignited in her chest. The community she had once viewed as distant suddenly felt like a tightly woven tapestry of support. Perhaps it wasn't just James she could lean on, perhaps the strength of community could help lift the veil over her burdens. Feeling emboldened, Lisa raised her voice above the murmuring. "I've always thought I had to do it alone. But maybe that's the problem." She hesitated, but his eyes met hers with encouragement. She pressed on. "Maybe it's okay to ask for help." The energy in the room shifted. People began to share their struggles, losses, job changes, and setbacks. Walls crumbled just like her own. She realized how unifying vulnerability could be, how it could offer a space for collective healing. The potluck transformed into a gathering of shared experiences, a redefinition of what community meant. Looking at James, she saw not just a wealthy CEO but a man who sought to connect with the very people whose lives his initiatives aimed to change. He smiled back, an understanding glimmer in his eyes. Would he be the one to help her step boldly into this new territory of acceptance? As the evening wound down, Lisa felt lighter, though threads of uncertainty still lingered. She knew she would have to confront her own fears of dependence and vulnerability again, but this time, she wouldn't face them alone. She felt the warmth of newfound connections, an unspoken promise of support wrapping around her. Returning home, the laughter of her children filled her heart. She could envision the small ways they might flourish now. Her hope sprouted a little more. Yet a tight knot of worry tugged at her heart. Was this newfound connection truly sustainable? Could their generosity last, or would it fade like so many fleeting moments? Just as she silenced her swirling doubts, her phone rang. It was a message from James. "Let us talk this week. I think we can do something great together." Lisa's hands trembled as she read the text, uncertainty mixing with excitement. What possibilities lay ahead? Could this be the moment that changed everything she thought she knew about herself and her community? As she stared at the message, the answer seemed just out of reach, leaving her hunger for change tinged with a flicker of hope. What would it mean to step in, to really trust the process? The following morning, Lisa woke up to the soft sound of her children chattering as they played in the living room. Sunlight streamed through the window, casting a warm glow across her modest home. Yet, underneath the familiar comforts, anxiety knotted in her stomach. Would she really be able to lean on the community she had just started to embrace? She brewed coffee while the aroma mingled with the sounds of her kids, a soothing contrast to the storm brewing in her mind. How could she open herself up further? What if she fell short of expectations? She reminded herself of the connection formed during the potluck. She had been honest, raw, and touching a nerve in so many hearts. But could that same sincerity sustain her? As she poured the steaming coffee into her favorite mug, the sound of an incoming message jolted her back to reality. It was from James, confirming their meeting later that day. The anticipation tinged with dread fluttered in her chest. What did he want to discuss? Was it going to involve her, her family? Her stomach twisted at the idea of being pulled into something bigger than herself, but a counterthought pushed forward. Maybe this was her opportunity. "Mommy, can we have pancakes?" Her son called from the other room, breaking her reverie. "How about we try something new today? How about pancake faces?" She replied, feeling a smile grow as a sense of normalcy washed over her. She tossed in some blueberries, and soon, laughter rang through the house. Her tiny kitchen transformed into a space of joy, but with every giggle, a pang of uncertainty lingered. While they enjoyed breakfast, Lisa's mind wandered to the potluck. The way people had looked at her with kindness. Did they really mean it when they offered help? And was she ready to accept it if they truly stood by their promises? After breakfast, with her hair pulled into a messy bun, Lisa grabbed a notepad. She started making a list of things she might need from her neighbor's childcare help, access to fresh produce, maybe even a local handyman. Curiously, she felt a thrill at each item she wrote down. Could putting her needs into words somehow make them more legitimate? Or was it simply a way to push back against her fear? Time passed quicker than she expected. Suddenly, it was almost time for her meeting with James. She dressed simply, but carefully, wanting to convey both professionalism and approachability. With each passing second, the nerves crept back. What if he asked her to be more than just a participant in community support? What if he proposed a project that would ask more from her than she felt she could give? Her heart raced as she navigated to the cafe where they were to meet. Lisa scanned the tables as she entered, spotting James already seated, sipping coffee. He looked up and a warm smile spread across his face, making the tension in her body ease slightly. "Hey, Lisa. I'm really glad you could make it," he said, gesturing for her to sit. His energy radiated upbeat confidence, yet there was an inviting quality in his demeanor that calmed her nerves. "Thanks for inviting me," she replied, taking a seat. Their eyes met and for a moment, she could see he was sincere, ready to listen. "I've been thinking a lot about what you shared at the potluck," he began. His voice held weight, but it was delivered with gentleness. "I feel we could really create something impactful if we work together." Lisa leaned forward, her heart pounding, suddenly wanting to know everything. What was he proposing? What did he envision? And most importantly, what would that mean for her? Just as she opened her mouth to ask about his idea, he continued, "But hear me out. I want your input. Your experience is invaluable. You have so much to offer, and it's time that people like you took center stage." The words echoed in her mind like a siren call, stirring a mix of desire and fear. Did he see something in her she hadn't fully recognized in herself? With a depth of feeling she hadn't expected, she took a breath and felt a shift, as if she was at the cusp of something extraordinary. But what would it cost her to step in completely? Would she be able to rise to meet this challenge? The questions lingered, nagging at her. The conversation wasn't over yet, and neither was her journey. What kind of support did she need to make this next leap? Would she find the courage to embrace whatever lay on the horizon? Lisa's heart pulsated in rhythm with her thoughts, and she could feel a warmth blooming in her chest. Did she truly have so much to offer? The very idea was both exhilarating and terrifying. She flashed a tight smile at James, wondering if he could sense the swirling tempest beneath her calm exterior. "Impactful?" she echoed, hesitantly. "What does that mean exactly?" James leaned back slightly, contemplating her question. The cafe buzzed around them, but in that moment, their small table felt like an island. "I want to start a community initiative," he said, the excitement evident in his voice. "It would focus on resources for families like yours, tutoring programs for kids, food drives, and mentorship opportunities. I believe together, we can build something strong, something that changes lives." She felt her heart do a little flip. A part of her wanted to leap at this chance, to dive into the pool of possibility he presented. But the fear of failure sneaked right back in. And what would my role be? She needed to know where she fit in this grand vision. "You'd take the lead," he replied, his eyes brightening. "You've been through it all. Your voice, your experience, those are the real assets here. People will listen to you. Lead." The word hung in the air between them, heavy with responsibility. Lisa's mind raced. Could she really take charge of something like that? The thought terrified her. What if she let everyone down? What if her insecurities shone through in her decisions? Yet another voice inside her urged her to consider that this was her moment, a chance to redefine her path beyond survival. I don't know if I can," she stammered, overwhelmed. "I mean, what if I make it worse?" James's expression softened, and for a brief moment, he didn't appear like a confident community leader, but rather as a friend, someone who truly cared about her well-being. "Listen, everyone feels that way sometimes. What we fear is often what we need. It's okay to be scared, Lisa. That just means you're invested. But what's the alternative? Staying silent while others take the stage?" His words sunk deep, making her soul ache at the thought of saying nothing while life continued on without her input. "I want to make a difference," she admitted, barely above a whisper, "but it's hard when I don't even know where to start." James leaned in, his tone earnest. "You start by believing in yourself, and by building a team around you that you can trust. We're a community, Lisa. You won't have to do it alone." She looked down at her coffee, the steam curling up into the air like the endless questions swirling in her mind. Together, they could create something beautiful. The notion flickered like a candle in her heart. Could this be the change she needed? Her children's laughter echoed in her thoughts, the sweet voices reminding her of her responsibilities. If she could change their world for the better, wasn't that worth fighting for? I'll think about it, Lisa finally replied, feeling a current of resolve stirring within her. I really will. But what happens next? If I say yes, what do you need me to do? Let us meet again next week, he suggested, his smile returning. I'll outline the steps and we can brainstorm together. You've got this, Lisa. As their conversation continued, Lisa felt the knots in her stomach begin to loosen, replaced by a flicker of hope. She had a choice now, a chance to mold her future and touch others' lives along the way. But as they wrapped things up, another thought flashed through her mind. Was she ready to step onto a path that could lead not only to personal growth but also vulnerability? Lisa took a breath, the gravity of her decision settling in. This wasn't merely about her anymore, it was about her children, her home, the future. What if this opportunity changed everything they knew? With a heart full of questions and a spirit itching for that leap, she saw the horizon ahead, shimmering with potential. What awaited her on the other side of this commitment? Was she truly prepared for what came next? The following week arrived too quickly, leaving Lisa with a mix of anticipation and dread. As she pushed the door of the cafe open, the familiar bell chimed, and she was greeted by a rush of espresso-rich aroma mingling with baked goods. She spotted James at their usual table, his hands busy with a notebook filled with notes and sketches. For a moment, he seemed to glow with purpose while she felt an almost magnetic draw toward his energy. Hey! He greeted, genuinely excited. Lisa couldn't help but smile as she slid into the chair opposite him. Hi! Sorry if I'm late, she replied. You're right on time. I was just going over some ideas. I can't wait to share them with you. Lisa felt her pulse quicken. She wasn't just a spectator anymore. She was in this, and it was thrilling. So, where do we start? James opened his notebook and pointed at various segments. I was thinking we could kick things off with a community meeting. Gather families, share stories, and see what everyone wants or needs. That way, we can tailor our initiatives. Her brows furrowed slightly. But what if no one shows up? What if I stutter or forget what to say? That's normal. He reassured her, brushing off her fears. Just remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being honest and connecting. They'll look to you for inspiration. Trust me. Lisa nodded, feeling the words seep into her spirit. She wanted to be that beacon. Underneath her reservations was a craving to be heard, to make an impact not just for herself but for women like her who felt unseen. So how do I get ready? I suggest you share a bit about your journey. Open up about being a single mom, the challenges and the victories. You'll find that others can relate. Her heart raced at the thought. Sharing her life felt like stripping down to bare skin, exposing vulnerabilities. What if they judge me? They won't. Remember, vulnerability breeds connection. You'll find your tribe, people willing to support you and work together. In that moment, Lisa saw flashes of her life, the late nights, the struggles, the endless tasks she accomplished every day, often without an audience. They had shaped her. Hadn't they? What if I fail? She whispered, voice trembling slightly. James leaned forward, sincerity illuminating his face. You won't fail. Even if things don't turn out as planned, you'll learn. Each step is a building block. You'll grow, and so will this community. The flickering hope within her began to glow brighter. Maybe he was right. She had made it through harder days, surely she could share her story and inspire change. I'll do it, she said, conviction ringing in her voice. I'll share my story and gather people. We can make this happen. Yes. Now you're talking. James stood up, energized. We can set up flyers, get the word out on social media. We'll fight the silence. As they dove into planning, Lisa felt a burning determination. Her mind raced with ideas. Soon, she'd be addressing families, igniting discussions that could spark real change. But as her confidence swelled, a nagging doubt still lingered. What if I'm not enough for them? Meeting that inner voice would take strength. And as she found herself lost in thought, the question hung heavy upon her heart. Was she ready to bear the weight of so many lives, so many hopes? What if her story, instead of connecting, pushed people away? With each plan set in motion, Lisa felt her resolve strengthen, yet an unsettling question loomed, waiting for her to confront it. Would the courage to lead truly blossom within her, or would it shatter like glass in the face of uncertainty? The days sped by, and the date of the community meeting loomed closer. Lisa hung flyers all over town, at the school, in the grocery store, and in the local library, her fingers aching as she staple-gunned the last one to the bulletin board. Each stapling felt like sealing her commitment to this venture. She was scared but exhilarated. Still, as the meeting approached, doubt crept in again. What if no one came? What if they did come, only to see a woman who fumbled her words and couldn't connect? It replayed in her mind scenes of her standing alone, a spotlight shining unforgivingly with a sea of unfamiliar faces staring back. She shuddered and let out a breath. One evening, as Lisa washed dishes, her daughter Mia came into the kitchen, her small hands busy munching on a cookie. "Mom, are you scared?" Lisa turned, surprised. "Scared? Of what?" "Of talking to all those people. What if they don't like you?" The truth in Mia's question made Lisa pause. "What if they do like me?" she countered, half smiling, feeling the warmth of hope juxtaposed with fear. Mia's lips curled into a hint of a smile. "Yeah, like, what if they think you're super awesome and want to be your friend?" Lisa chuckled, the tension releasing from her shoulders. "I suppose that could happen." "Then it's not scary at all," Mia exclaimed, her innocent logic wading through her mother's swirling thoughts. The evening of the meeting arrived, and Lisa stood in front of the gathered crowd, her heart pounding like a drum. A mix of anxiousness and excitement bubbled within her as she scanned the room filled with eager faces. She recognized a few people, parents from school, neighbors she had waved to, and some she had never seen before. "Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here." Her voice trembled slightly but steadied with each word. "I'm Lisa, and I'm a single mom just like many of you. I know how tough it can be, but I believe we can support each other." The crowd murmured softly as she continued. She shared her story, the struggles that shaped her, the resilience she found within herself, and the dreams that were slowly igniting again. "Sometimes we feel like we're alone," she said, "vulnerable yet powerful, but we're not. Together, we can create a thriving community." As she spoke, one by one, faces softened, nodding in understanding. Some even wiped away tears. And as she shared, the fear that once gripped her heart began to dissolve. When Lisa finished, a wave of applause erupted. It was a simple gesture, but the warmth calmed her racing heart. People began to share their own stories, struggles, joys, and the simple daily trials of life. There was laughter, tears, and something beautiful began to unfold. Connection. After the meeting, a woman approached her, her eyes bright with gratitude. "Thank you, Lisa. I didn't think anyone understood. Your story, it gave me hope." Tears glistened in Lisa's eyes as she felt the power of shared experiences wash over her. For the first time, she realized she was not just a single mother on an isolated journey. She was part of something bigger in us rather than a me. While cleaning up after the meeting, James lingered, exhaustion merging with exhilaration. "You didn't just share your story, you opened the door for a lot of people tonight." "Yeah, it felt amazing," she replied, her heart still racing with joy. But even with this triumph, a question rested on her heart. In the blur of sharing her story, she realized how much was still unsaid. What other burdens waited to be shared? What if her story wasn't just one of many but the catalyst for change? As Lisa stared into the vastness of possibilities ahead, a new flame sparked in her chest. Could she push this momentum further? Would she uncover the strength within her to not only inspire but lead others toward transformation? These thoughts lingered into the night as she prepared for the next steps. What awaited her on this path, she didn't know, but one thing was certain: this was just the beginning. The morning sunlight streamed through the kitchen window, casting a golden glow on the remnants of last night's gathering. Lisa sipped her coffee, the warmth filling her, but her nerves fluttered, reminding her how quickly things could change. Those stories, shared heavy yet liberating, played on repeat in her mind. Each voice was a thread in the fabric of their community, but Lisa felt the weight of responsibility starting to settle onto her shoulders. Mia bustled in, clutching her favorite stuffed rabbit. "Mom, can we do it again?" "Do what again, sweetie?" "The meeting." People were happy. And they were laughing and talking together. Mia's bright eyes sparkled with excitement. Lisa nodded, her heart swelling. Yes, they were, and it was wonderful. "I want to tell my story," Mia proclaimed, bouncing slightly on her feet. "Your story?" Lisa smiled at her daughter's enthusiasm. "About how I'm brave when I try new things." Lisa's heart melted. "You are brave, Mia. And your story is very special. You know that, right?" Mia beamed, and for a moment, Lisa felt the weight lift again, the connection of motherhood fueling her resolve. Together, they started planning the next meeting. What if this wasn't just a one-time thing? What if it turned into something bigger? They typed out ideas, Mia's tiny fingers hitting the keyboard with determination, as Lisa wrote down the hopes growing inside her. In the following days, the community buzzed. People approached Lisa at the grocery store or during school drop-offs, each encounter a new spark of connection. They shared not only their struggles but also ideas on how to build a supportive network, much more than she originally imagined. Lisa felt fueled by their energy. Still, lurking beneath the excitement, a cloud of fear lingered. Could she keep this momentum going? That evening, as she prepared dinner, her phone buzzed with a notification. It was from James, a quick message checking in and asking how she was feeling after the meeting. She paused, her heart beating a bit faster. His support meant the world to her. "Things are going well. So many people are inspired. We're planning more," she replied, a smile spreading across her face. James responded instantly, "That's amazing. You know I'm here if you need help. You've got a gift with people." Lisa's heart sang. Did she really? Right after the message, another thought surfaced. What if, just what if, she could do more? She recalled the woman who expressed gratitude after the meeting, how much hope had been ignited that night. Perhaps it was time to look for alliances beyond the community, experts or local leaders who could bring new insights. Her heart raced as she grabbed a pen. What if she could get a guest speaker to join the next gathering? Someone influential to drive even more energy into their cause. She wrote a list of potential names, feeling giddy with each addition. As she sat back, picturing who she could reach out to, one name stood out, a local CEO known for her work with women's initiatives. The thought made Lisa's pulse quicken. Was she really ready for that leap? The risk felt enormous, yet the possibility of change loomed larger. Mia bounded back into the room, her voice breaking Lisa's concentration. "Mom, guess what?" "What, sweetheart?" "I made a new friend at school today." Lisa's heart swelled with joy. Her daughter, thriving and growing, just like the community around her. "That's wonderful, honey. What's her name?" "Jenna. And she said she wants to come to the meeting too." And in that moment, Lisa knew they were building something strong, a safe haven for stories untold and lives intertwined. She hugged Mia tightly, overwhelmed by the warmth filling the space between them. Suddenly, an idea struck her. Why don't we invite everyone from school? We could have a kids' corner, too. Mia's eyes lit up, and Lisa felt a storm of excitement swell within her. As they dove into planning, Lisa couldn't shake the urge to reach out to the CEO. What if this venture became more than they could ever imagine, more than a small town story? What if it transformed into a beacon for others? The next steps unfolded before her like a map, each moment charged with potential. And in the back of her mind, the question lingered, would this bold leap become the catalyst for not just change in her community, but in her own life as well? And as the sun dipped behind the horizon, painting the sky with promise, Lisa took out her phone, poised to send the first message that could change everything. Lisa took a deep breath, her finger hovering over the screen. The pulse of uncertainty rushed through her. Could she really send this message? What if it fell flat? But then she thought about the lives that could be impacted. The faces lit up and the community meeting flowed through her mind. They all deserved a voice, a chance, a path to healing. Gathering her courage, she typed a brief introduction, explaining who she was and what she hoped to accomplish with the next community meeting. Adding the CEO's name, she pressed send, immediately feeling both relief and anxiety wash over her. "Did you send it, Mom?" Mia asked, peering up from a colorful drawing. "I did." "Now we wait," Lisa replied, trying to sound confident. But impatience gnawed at her. Later that night, while reading to Mia, the doorbell rang. The sound cut through the cozy atmosphere like a bolt of lightning. Who could that be? She wondered. Lisa opened the door, her heart racing. Standing on the doorstep was James, holding a small bouquet of flowers. "I thought this might brighten your evening," he said, handing them to her. "Thank you." "It's beautiful," Lisa smiled, feeling warmth blossom in her chest. They stood there for a moment, smiles lingering. "I came to see how I could help with the next meeting." "Anything you'd like to brainstorm on?" he asked, stepping inside. As they settled on the couch, Lisa found herself sharing her bold ideas. She relayed her thoughts about the local CEO, the plans for the kids' corner, her vision for a more extensive network for support. With each word, the excitement reignited in her heart. "You're really onto something, Lisa," James said, nodding. "And if that CEO agrees to come, think of the doors that could open. Right?" "I'm just nervous about reaching out to her," Lisa admitted, twirling a stem of the flowers between her fingers. James looked at her sincerely. "You've already started changing lives. Don't sell yourself short. You've got the passion, and that speaks louder than a title." Just then, her phone buzzed, pulling them from their conversation. Lisa snatched it up, her heart pounding at the sight of a new message from the CEO. "Wow! It's her!" Lisa exclaimed as she opened it. She said she'd love to help and is interested in coming to the next meeting. "See? Told you. This is huge!" James exclaimed, grinning from ear to ear. Lisa felt the flutter of hope expand in her chest. They started mapping out ideas, James suggesting ways to integrate the CEO's expertise into their gathering. It was starting to feel real, a community event that could draw people together in ways beyond what she had thought possible. As they chatted, Lisa glanced at Mia, who was now sprawled on the floor drawing and singing. The innocence in her joy felt grounding. Lisa would do anything for her daughter, their little haven of safety, the place where stories were shared, laughter erupted, and bravery thrived. But as the night wore on, the bubble of excitement was punctured by a deeper anxiety. What if the attention brought by this CEO also revealed their vulnerabilities? Would the community's struggles be exposed in the glaring light of the spotlight? Would it be too overwhelming? "You all right?" James asked, catching her moment of introspection. "Just thinking about the bigger picture," Lisa replied, vulnerability creeping into her voice. "What if we can't handle the pressure?" James leaned back, thoughtful. "Change is tough. But what's the alternative? Staying silent? I think it's worth the risk, Lisa, for you and for all those people." As they brainstormed, a flood of ideas filled the room. But beneath the laughter and hope, Lisa sensed something stronger, a surge of possibility that couldn't be ignored. "Maybe it's time to push the limits," she murmured, clenching her fists tightly. The night ended with enthusiasm buzzing in the air, the two of them crafting plans and possibilities for the meeting. Lisa's heart hammered with anticipation, fueled by the thought of the CEO potentially standing beside her, empowering a wave of transformation. As she tucked Mia into bed later, the warmth of dreams around them cocooned her. Could this truly shift the course of their lives? What would come next? Once lights were out and Lisa sat alone, doubts crept in, a bell jar of unease that threatened to shatter. What would happen when the moment of truth arrived? Lisa awoke the next morning to sunlight spilling into her bedroom, unwelcome intrusions that felt tender against the remnants of her restless night. The CEO's confirmation still danced in her mind, but it was tangled with the worries that had taken root during her sleepless hours. She pushed off the covers, determined to make the day count. As she prepared breakfast, the smell of pancakes filled the air, mingling with the cheerful chatter of Mia, who was practically bouncing in her chair. Can we have a superheroes theme at the meeting, Mom? There could be capes. Lisa chuckled, her heart lightening. Sure, kiddo, I'll add it to the list. With a stack of pancakes served in enthusiasm in the air, the morning felt brighter. But beneath that surface brightness, worry simmered. Each bite tasted like hope with a side of dread. What if piecing everything together was too much? Are you okay, Mom? Mia asked, her eyes wide and innocent. Just thinking, sweetheart. Mia, with her unblemished view of the world, smiled and continued talking about capes and colors, washing away some of Lisa's apprehensions. By the time they finished breakfast, Lisa found her resolve strengthening. She grabbed her notebook and started jotting down everything she could think of, mingling Mia's ideas with her hopeful dreams. Suddenly, a knock on the door broke her concentration. It was James again, a coffee cup in hand. Thought you could use a little boost, he said, a grin spreading across his face. Thanks. You're a lifesaver, Lisa said, taking the cup and inhaling deep, dark coffee aromas. While they sipped their drinks, James and Lisa sifted through their plans. The vision was beginning to take shape, more tangible than it ever had before. As they brainstormed, it felt as if the walls of her little home expanded to envelop everyone who needed this, everyone waiting for a chance to be heard. I just wish I could shake off this fear, Lisa admitted as they discussed the invitation letter for the meeting. What if no one shows up? What if it doesn't make a difference? Lisa, we're in a place where every voice matters. The people will come for you and for what you believe in. You're building something bigger than just a meeting, James said, his tone steady as the words sank in, heavy yet hopeful. Lisa nodded, her fingers resting on the cool paper with ideas scrawled across it. Each idea was a piece of her heart. Mid-morning, Lisa received another buzz from her phone, not the anticipated confirmation from the community center, but a message from one of the families she had reached out to. We'll be there. Thank you for doing this. A smile broke over her face, excitement burst forth in her chest. They're coming, she yelled, waving her phone in the air. James's eyes twinkled with encouragement. See? It's already starting. The sense of possibility continued to build, and Lisa felt herself leaning into it. After wrapping up more ideas for the meeting, they planned a trip to the local park to hang flyers, every poster a promise to the community. As they walked, Lisa spotted a group of kids playing. The sound of their laughter was contagious. She thought of Mia, dreaming of capes and heroes, and how much their little community needed this gathering. This wasn't just about her anymore, it was about all of them. Hey! Can I help? A kid shouted as they passed, eyes sparkling with curiosity. Lisa paused. Absolutely. We're spreading the word about an important meeting. You want to help us? Yeah. I can get my friends. He beamed, sprinting off with excitement. That single moment ignited something profound within Lisa. Maybe she wasn't just a single mom struggling to make a difference. Maybe she was a leader, someone whose voice carried weight. But as the afternoon sun began to dip towards the horizon, tinged with a hint of uncertainty, doubt still lingered like shadows. What if their plans suffered, despite all their efforts? The feeling of doubt settled in again, but Lisa pushed it away. Just have to keep believing, she whispered to herself, glancing at James, who was admiring the colorful flyers they were making. The day was almost over when they received a notification that the community center was on board with their event. The gears were finally turning, momentum building towards something that felt incredibly vital, yet amid the celebration, she couldn't shake the thought, what other hurdles were waiting around the corner? Tomorrow would be a bigger test. Would they rise to meet it? Would the community embrace their efforts wholeheartedly? As she tucked Mia into bed, Lisa felt the weight of anticipation. Would this really be the turning point? With the gentle light of the moon spilling through the window, she turned to the future with both hope and anxiety swirling inside her. What might happen when they finally took the leap? The sun rose fresh and bright, draping a golden glow over the neighborhood. Lisa stood in front of the mirror, her heart racing in rhythm with the morning's bright energy. Today was the day. The community meeting would begin in just a few hours, and the nerves coiled tight in her stomach like a spring ready to snap. Yet, beneath it all, there was a growing determination whispering that this moment could shift everything. "Mommy! Are we ready?" Mia's voice chimed as she bounced in, costume cape fluttering behind her. Lisa turned, a burst of warmth swelling in her chest. "Almost, sweetheart. You look amazing." With bright eyes and pure enthusiasm, her daughter reminded her that this gathering wasn't just about logistics and speeches. It was about connection, strength, and seeds of change being planted. After breakfast, they hurried to the community center, the air crackling with anticipation. As they entered, Lisa noticed the space transformed. Banners hung from the walls, bright flyers lined the tables, and small groups of families mingled together, laughter weaving through the air like music. A sense of belonging filled the room. Standing at the front, a mix of familiar faces and newcomers greeted her, each embodying layers of stories, joys, anxieties, each carrying fragments of hope. Taking a deep breath, Lisa began to speak. "Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm so excited to see so many faces. Together, we can create a community where every voice is heard." As her words flowed, she felt the tension within her transform into something vibrant and electric. Murmurs of agreement rippled across the room, and she pressed on, sharing her journey as a single mother, the uphill battles she faced, and how she discovered strength and vulnerability in community. As stories began to emerge from the audience, Lisa felt a connection between them, a tapestry of shared experience being stitched with every word. A woman recounted her long nights balancing two jobs. A man spoke about caring for his sick father while wrestling with his own dreams. "Thank you for sharing that," Lisa said, her voice full of gratitude as she listened intently. "We're all facing something, but we can lean on each other. Let us start building this support network. Let us become each other's champions." The applause warmed her heart, and for the first time, doubt slipped silently away into the background. An invigorating buzz began to spread. Ideas sprouted like seeds in spring: childcare, tutoring programs, community gardens, each a testament to their collective spirit. Suddenly, she spotted James entering the room, his presence radiating confidence as he weaved through the crowd. The sight of him brought an overwhelming wave of support crashing over her. No longer a lone fighter, she had an ally who believed in her. Just before the meeting culminated, Lisa introduced James to speak. "This is James. He sees potential in all of us, and he's here to help us strengthen our community." As he spoke, the crowd leaned in, captivated by his vision. The optimism in the room soared higher. And then came a clear, robust voice from behind them. "Will you partner with us, Lisa?" It was the CEO. She stood with an air of calm authority, eyes bright with resolve. "You're igniting change here, and I want to be a part of it. Whatever resources you need, I'm in." A surge of emotion swelled within Lisa. Her heart felt like it could burst with joy. This was the moment, this was their collective dream solidifying into reality. "I accept," Lisa exclaimed without hesitation. "Together, we will build a community where every family feels seen, supported, and empowered." The room erupted into applause, faces brimming with hope and determination. Several weeks rolled quickly into a new rhythm, with families coming together for workshops, organizing events, and celebrating their achievements. Lisa felt like she had come alive in ways she never dreamed possible. The fears that shadowed her were slowly being replaced by a clear vision for the future. Looking at Mia, who now confidently greeted the new kids in the neighborhood, dancing among the flow of vibrant community life, Lisa realized she wasn't just building initiatives. She was cultivating a legacy of confidence and strength to pass on. As she tucked her daughter in that night, she felt an overwhelming sense of belonging wash over her. They were not just surviving anymore, they were thriving, surrounded by a network of support that had grown from vulnerability into unyielding resilience. "Good night, my brave little superhero," she whispered, her heart full. Now, with every moment woven together like a beautifully crafted quilt, Lisa saw clearly their story had transformed into a beacon, illuminating pathways for others desperately seeking connection just like she once had. And as she drifted into sleep, Lisa knew this was only the beginning of something extraordinary. This is the moment where change begins, and there is no going back. Now, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss out on the next exclusive stories that will inspire you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support really makes a difference and helps spread this message far and wide. Comment your thoughts and feelings about this ending, your reactions matter. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Let us take this journey together, and let your voices be heard.